Hey everybody, you are flipping in fifth with me, Mrs. G. Today we're going to be talking about topic 7, lesson 5, and today's learning target is I can divide whole numbers by decimals. Here are some important notes on today's lesson. First of all, if you still don't know what the divisor is, the dividend is, or the quotient, you need to make sure that you write these down and you study them. I promise you they will be on the topic 7 vocabulary quiz. So please make sure you know what those are. I also would like for you to write down that today we are going to be using the standard algorithm to divide. Yesterday, we learned about the standard algorithm dividing with decimals by using base 10 blocks. Today, we're just going to use the standard algorithm. You also may have to annex zeros to find the numbers after the decimal. That's something very important, and it will also help you when you do your practice problems tonight, so make sure you write it down. Also, we always check our work, and we are going to be checking by using decimal multiplication. Divide a decimal? Well, how do I do that? Let's find out.
Decimals were introduced, and I thought they'd be tricky. Actually, they weren't. I picked it up quickly. Once I tell you to, you'll be a little wiser. First thing you do is remove the decimal from the divisor. The next step is a game of monkey see, monkey do. Move the decimal in the divisor and the dividend too. Once you completed all the steps and make sure that they're good, divide like you normally would. First you divide, then multiply, and subtract. Hey! Bring it down. Hey! First you divide, then multiply, then subtract. Hey! Bring it down. Hey! Repeat the steps until you can't go anymore. Long division style. Division style, long division style. Long division style. Here we go. Now we know. Baby, long division's not so. Here we go. Now we know. Baby, long division, not so. Long division style. Long division style. Long division style.
What a great job our Eagles did trying to help us remember all of the steps using the standard algorithm. So if you ever get stuck, you can just sing that little tune in your head and it will help you remember the steps. So let's try that on today's problem of the day. 40 Clear Creek Eagles are going trick-or-treating at Mrs. G's house. She has 28 and 40 hundredths pieces of candy to split evenly among the group. How many pieces of candy will they each have? Well, anytime we have a story problem like this, I always first ask you to underline the question it's asking. Here it's asking, how many pieces of candy will they each have? Now we need to figure out, well, what's our label going to be? So we're going to put a square around our label, which in this case is pieces of candy. That's what we're trying to figure out. Now we need to go through and highlight the important information, the information we're going to use to solve the problem. So in this case, I have highlighted the number 40 because there are 40 eagles that are trick-or-treating, the number 28 and 40 hundredths because that's the amount of candy that we have, and then split evenly because split evenly tells me that we are going to divide in this problem. So here we have 28 and 40 hundredths divided by 40. Now, be sure that you write this down. If you only have a decimal under the house, then the decimal just goes straight up into the quotient. Then you forget about it. Yes, it is that easy. So let's go through and solve this using the standard algorithm. Well, first of all, we're just going to move that decimal straight up because we only have a decimal under the house. And now we're going to forget about it. So how many times does 40 go into 2? 0 times. How many times does 40 go into 28? That would be 0 times. So now, how many times does 40 go into 284? Well, here we're going to estimate and think, how many times does 4 go into 28? And then we're going to use that to multiply by and see if we have the correct answer. So in this case, we know 7 times 4 is 28. So 7 times 40 is going to be 280. So now we're going to subtract, just like we saw in the video there a couple minutes ago, and we're going to have 4. Then we have to bring the 0 down here, and that leaves us with 40. So how many times does 40 go into 40? Well, that's easy. It goes in 1 time. Multiply 40 times 1. That gives us 40. We're going to subtract. 40 minus 40 is 0. So we have absolutely nothing left over. But we still have to add something, because here we know that each student will get 71/100 pieces of candy. Remember, it is really important that you label your story problems. After all, that's why we put a big square around it, right? So now we need to check it. We're going to check it using decimal multiplication, which of course we already know how to do. So we're going to take our answer, or our quotient, which was 71/100, and we're going to multiply it by 40 because that was our other number in the problem. And if you figure that out, you should get the same answer as the other number involved in your division problem. And here we do have the same exact answer. So we know that our division was correct. Yay, we got a star. Now you try. Here are your practice problems for this evening. Remember, you might have to annex a 0, so pay attention to that and go back and read your notes again to see exactly what you have to do. Go ahead and pause the video now and come back for the answers. Okay, coming back with the answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, here are your answers. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to so you can go through and make sure that your answers are in fact correct. Make sure that you check everything so that you know that it's right. Okay, make sure you checked your work and you wrote how many you got correct. Be honest, this isn't for a grade. Honestly, fill out that self-reflection. Could you teach a friend, or are you still confused? And of course, fill in the space if you have any more questions. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.